Kindness is one of the most misunderstood human behaviors, not because it is rare, but because it is often forgotten. You extend empathy to someone in pain. You stand beside them when their world is collapsing. You listen, you support, you sacrifice emotional energy, not for reward, not for recognition, but because their suffering moved you. And then something unsettling happens. When their hardship passes, when life becomes stable again, and when they no longer need you, they change. Their tone shifts, their warmth fades, your kindness is minimized, ignored, or erased. And what hurts most is not the lack of gratitude, but the realization that your empathy meant more to you than it ever did to them. Today, through the lens of psychology, we will unpack why this happens, what it reveals about human nature, and how emotionally intelligent people can protect themselves without losing their humanity. Empathy creates asymmetrical bonds. One of the first psychological principles we must understand is this: empathy creates unequal emotional investment. When someone is suffering, they are psychologically inward focused. Their nervous system is dominated by survival, fear, and distress. You, on the other hand, are operating from a regulated emotional state. You are choosing empathy, not reacting from pain. This creates an asymmetry. You remember the moments of connection. They remember the moments of relief. In psychology, this is known as emotional state dependent memory. People remember emotions that align with their current psychological state. Once their pain ends, your support no longer matches their emotional reality. So it slowly fades from their internal narrative. This is not always intentional cruelty. Often it is psychological self preservation. The threat of moral debt. Gratitude is not emotionally neutral. To feel gratitude deeply, a person must also accept vulnerability, dependence, and moral obligation. Many people are uncomfortable with moral debt. Your kindness becomes a mirror, a reminder that they once needed help. And for fragile egos, that reminder feels like weakness. Psychologically, distancing themselves from you allows them to reclaim a sense of control, rewrite the past, and restore a self image of independence. This defense mechanism is known as cognitive dissonance reduction. Instead of acknowledging, they helped me when I was broken, the mind subtly shifts towards it wasn't that serious. They didn't do that much, and I never really needed them. Your kindness is dismissed, not because it lacked value, but because its value threatens their self concept. Power dynamics shift when pain ends. During hardship, the power dynamic is inverted. You are emotionally stable. They are emotionally dependent. Once their situation improves, the dynamic reserves. Suddenly, they no longer need reassurance. They no longer seek understanding. And they no longer feel emotionally exposed. And psychologically, humans often respond to regain power by creating distance from those who witnessed their weakness. This explains why their tone becomes colder, their communication shortens, and their behavior turns dismissive. It's not personal, it is symbolic. You are a reminder of a version of themselves they no longer want to acknowledge. Gratitude requires emotional maturity. Here is a hard psychological truth. Not everyone is emotionally equipped to hold gratitude. Gratitude requires secure identity, emotional regulation, and low narcissistic traits. Individuals with emotional maturity often experience gratitude as pressure, not appreciation. Instead of thinking someone cared for me, they subconsciously think now I owe something. To escape that internal pressure, they disengage. This is why emotionally immature individuals often forget kindness, downplay support, and avoid the people who help them. Not because they are evil, but because they lack the physical capacity to process relational depth. Why this hurts you so deeply? Your pain is not weakness, it is emotional intelligence colliding with emotional avoidance. You expected reciprocity, not repayment but recognition. Psychologically, humans are wired for relational fairness. When kindness is erased, the brain interprets it as social rejection. This activates the same neural pathways as physical pain, feeling of invisibility, and existential self doubt. You begin asking, did I matter? Was I foolish to care? Or should I stop being kind? This is the emotional cost of empathy in an unregulated world. The difference between compassion and attachment. One of the most powerful psychological distinctions you can learn is this: compassion should be unconditional, attachment should not. When empathy turns into emotional attachment, you unknowingly place expectations on the outcome. Healthy compassion says, I help because it aligns with my values. Unhealthy attachment says, I help because I expect acknowledgement. This does not make you selfish, it makes you human. But wisdom lies in detaching your identity from others' responses. What this reveals about you: if you are someone who helps without calculation, feels deeply for others, and is hurt by emotional inconsistency, then psychology would describe you as high in affective empathy and moral sensitivity. These are not flaws, but they require boundaries. The world does not need fewer kind people. It needs kind people who are psychologically protected. How to protect yourself without becoming cold? Number 1. Give empathy, not access. Sport does not require permanent emotional availability. Number 2. Accept impermanence. Some people are meant to be chapters, not characters. Number 3. Measure character by consistency, not crisis behavior. How someone treats you after recovery reveals more than how they treated you in pain. And number 4, detach self worth from recognition. Your kindness is valid even when unseen. Conclusion: a ground perspective. Not everyone who receives kindness knows how to hold it. Not everyone who is helped remembers the hand, only the escape. But your empathy is not wasted. It shapes who you are, not who they become. And psychologically speaking, the people who remember kindness after their pain ends are not just grateful, they are emotionally evolved. Remain kind, remain aware, but never confuse someone's inability to appreciate empathy with the value of your humanity. If this video resonates with you, like it and share it. And don't forget subscribe YouTube TraitSense channel. Thank you.